Was into food because it's right after air and water. So I live in a place where there's good air and there's water. Let's get out and grow some food.
Story. I met Dale, my husband Dale, Ziech, in Summerland, and he was an orchardist and I was a potter. My parents owned this property called Little Creek, right, sorry, I was going to say Little Creek Dressing, but actually it's called Little Creek. And in 1984, Dale and I decided to move out here to the land, totally forest, there was nothing here. We actually had to bring power in 1980. My parents live here too, and my other 3 siblings, because my parents had bought it in '69 and subdivided it amongst us 4 kids, and we were the only ones that wanted to farm. So here I was, a potter in Summerland, and Dale an orchardist. Moved here, the idea was plant an orchard and set up a pottery studio. So we cleared the forest and I built the house. We built the house all together, and my son Juby was 12 at that time. Moved in, and then I found I was having twins. So that sort of like changed everything. Farming is one of those things that's a choice of lifestyle, and it takes quite a while to create a farm in a situation where you can be producing, and we literally had to clear the forest. So it took us a while, but in 1991, I believe it was, Dale became the first certified organic grower to grow salad greens in the Okanagan. And I'd been making the dressing in a jar for many years, like just, you know, my own idea, this and that, shaking it up, and that was the dressing. I thought, you know what, I'm going to bottle this dressing. Because the whole thing that, the thrust that agriculture supports behind farmers is they say, do value added. They were really kind of on a big push for that then. I mean, I'm sure they still are. Anything to help farmers to create more value to what they're already doing. This salad dressing was so good on the mixed greens, because the mixed greens have all those profiles, tones, flavor tones, and this really complemented it. The original, the Little Creek original, that was the first dressing I made. I had a friend, one of my neighbors had a computer, like, not a lot of people had computers, right? So I said, could you help me with this label? So I drew the label. It's the Dawn, which is the view across the lake from here. So all the kids visiting that summer, coloring the labels, and we're all gluing them on. And at that point, there weren't a lot of organic grocers here, so to speak. And Nature's Fair had opened, and they were buying Dale's salad greens. One thing when you're going into business and you don't really, I'm a very practical, very thrifty person, but don't know the ins and outs of business, is like your margin. So what we did was we looked at the shelf, and I had an estimated cost of what it was costing me, not including labor of all my family and friends that were helping me. And I came up with a price, and they said, well, no, you can't have that price, because look, this American dressing is, you know, $3.50 a bottle, so you can't sell yours for $4 a bottle. So of course I had to drop the price, but I sold the case, and I really had no money. It was just an idea I had, but I had all these resources, which was the property, my family, my friends, my neighbors. And then the best thing for me with the dressing was community word-of-mouth marketing. Our business really, both the businesses grew very organically, slowly but surely. They want you to have a distributor because they don't want to write one check. This is like a problem for small-scale producers, farmers. They don't want to write one check for, you know, 5 bags of salad greens or 4 cases of dressing. And so Whole Foods dropped me, and Thrifty's dropped me, and I wrote to Whole Foods and I said, I want to tell you what I'm doing. I'm making an organic salad dressing to complement my husband's greens so he can grow organic food, because we needed some kind of income stream, and this is what Whole Foods supports. And of course they took me right back. Foods dropped me, and they were owned by Sobeys then. But so many customers complained and requested me. And that's the whole thing about local. There's this whole thing about local. It's fabulous. And
neighbors.
Yeah, like people buy local, consumers buy locals, but at a store level, or local, but they still have perimeters. They still have, you know, they can't put all of my flavors on there because there's all the other things. There's a lot involved in the grocery business. So anyways, we made the dressing here for years, and I had a small kitchen which burnt down, and our family motto is perseverando. So we came up the hill, he lived down the hill, and he came up and he said, "So kid, I hear you had some bad luck. Well, don't even think of shoulda, coulda, woulda. What do we need? Let's get going." And that's why I kept going, because of my dad. And then it actually ended up all in perfect order. Well, I think people should know that it's a tremendous commitment from the people that are farming. It's a lifestyle commitment, it's hard work, it's an act of love, and it's really strangely, food is kind of at the bottom of the income stream where food gives you life, yet in a lot of ways I think there's been an attitude about food needs to be cheap. And you know, for me personally, I think that food has to be good food, organic food, and farmers need to be paid fair wages for the food that they produce.
Food is a interesting part of our lifestyle. A lot of food is automatic food that isn't even nutritious. And I'm talking stuff in the bag that if you squished up, it's this much of salt and sugar and fat, right? Not real food. People don't buy farmland in the Okanagan to farm. They buy for investment. And even putting it in grapes, generally it's a winery, right? So it's a business, that's a value-added business. I think that's kind of the winery model, small and large.
The commitment people have to farming, which is such hard work, is needs to be recognized, and I think people can appreciate that. There's more awareness now, I feel, in that regard, but really just supporting them and, you know, buying what they have and just being positive and grateful. I think gratitude is so important for anybody in the food producing business at small scale. Like, it's the gratitude for people making a decision to have this as their life, to grow food or produce food, you know, process food. Not many processors in Kelowna like me, and if you know what I mean, there's Sunripe and that, but because there are so many challenges.
Influencer politicians, that's monster. People don't do that. Get out. Get out. Phone up your politician. Ask them what their food policy is. What do they think about food? This is what I think is important. And that makes such a huge difference. Phone up your grocer. You know, here's the questions. Community. Is it local? Is it Kelowna based? Is it Okanagan based? Is it British Columbia based? Is it Canada based? I want to see those labels in the food I buy. You just kick them right in the butt. And every time you see that manager, there's cherries right out friggin' down the road. You're not selling Washington cherries in my store. You know, we have to command what we want. We're in control if we can see that.
Well, they can come visit so I can meet everyone. And I really appreciate all the support that I am already given by the community. And so I guess continue, and just the understanding of what it takes to be in the food industry, whether it be growing food or producing food. It's if there's understanding and support, which I do feel there is. I really do feel there is that. So I'm really grateful for that. As much as it's a negative thing, I feel like it has shone some light on the food industry. So for us, it's been beneficial. Like, more people have become aware of it. More bloggers are posting on it, because everybody's trying to help each other in the situation of isolation and produce good food that's nutritious and even fun. And it's created a community of food and just people still purchasing it. I must admit, I wasn't 100% sure that would happen because, you know, in terms of against a craft or something, we're more expensive, but it's just the quality. I think people appreciate it. The fact that we're the only certified organic dressing made in Western Canada. Now that's quite a thing, and I think people, there was more appreciation for the real grassroots of it all, and people want to rally to support you. It was, I think it's beautiful.
Maybe the COVID thing will teach us something about community, about humanness, and that might influence the future, and not just worry about how fast things can be. Maybe it's just the opposite. Maybe we're going to go, hey, you know, to be healthy, we're going to have to slow down.
Have the respect and admiration for the wisdom that these people possess, or we possess, because when you're young, it's hard to realize that when you get older, you know a lot more. And sometimes when you're young, you want to forge through on your own, but there's so much information and help and mentoring that can be done through people that are older. And sure, you might have a new idea, and that's awesome, but kind of respect what these people have created and done before and sort of led the way, because there's been a lot of changes, like since we were farming, and just way more awareness, which is phenomenal. And a lot of that is supported by younger people, for sure, more awareness. But I think just kind of like just the respect and admiration or love or gratitude. Again, it seems to come down to gratitude so much of what people have done and the commitment they've made in their lives towards the planet.
Even your knowledge, you're not going to reinvent anything. Your knowledge is going to come from your community, whether it's your grandfather or the library or somebody down the street. As far as learning about food, it should also be a part of education, and I think that may be happening more. My idea, just off the top of my head, is communities fostering young farmers. There's lots of really good farmers in the farmers market living in the Okanagan that won't own a square inch of the Okanagan because it's so bloody expensive. But there's still lots of empty land, so communities have to say, yeah, it's important. You want to farm? We'll lease the land for you, or we'll work with the community to support we'll pay your taxes and irrigation. And I mean, even on the corporate level, we should be going to save on and saying, okay, sure, you buy local and you advertise local. Do you fund local farming, like a CSA? They should be putting out 10 or 15% to the farmers right off the top, if they really want to put the money where their mouth is, kind of thing. And that's going to be important, because they're going to need food. They're going to need bloody food to sell us, right?
I feel like land and nature and trees and plants have their own dimension, sort of thing, that we all need. We need a peace. We need to find peace and a connection rooting to the earth. So we have respect for the earth. To me, the land is everything, and I'll do whatever I can to keep it for the future. Random acts of kindness, you know, like that goes a long ways, really, really long ways, and just without conditions, without expecting anything back, just, you know, just give, and you will receive back. Might not be in the same, but I really believe that.